think our mindset is really just to go out and win every week, no matter who we're playing. That's the goal every week, is to go out and go 1-0. And so far this season, we've done a good job. Obviously, a lot of things to improve on, but that's our goal every week, is just to go out and go 1-0.
Like, what do you think it says about the team that you guys were able to rebound after that loss to Baltimore to start? You know, it seemed pretty severe, that loss, but then to come back with 2 straight wins. But what does it say about you guys?
Yeah, obviously, first game of the year, played Baltimore, extremely talented team, and then played 2 great teams the next 2 weeks. But, we just come out every day and go to work. And, that's really what we're built on, is just working and winning before we even play the game. That's one thing we were talking about this week. And I think we did that and, went out and we won the game. Obviously, a lot of things to clean up, but a win's a win.
We were a resilient bunch there yesterday. We went down, I think, 10-7, and we were down 20-17 maybe. So we had to answer. I thought the guys did that. The ground game takes 11 guys, like we've talked about before. So I thought all those guys, I would single out the receivers as well. Odell, Cordero, Jarvis, all those guys blocking downfield. Speaking of Odell, 4 catches, 4 huge plays, 4 first downs, which was very big for us. So really pleased with the effort that those guys are putting out there.
And you touched upon the resiliency. I wanted to ask you about that before. What does it mean, Kevin, when your big players, and you already mentioned OBJ with the 4 first downs and then Miles with the strip sack, what does it mean to a team when the big guys come through like that, when those guys are making plays?
Yeah, we're counting on those guys. We try, as coaches, we try and put them in spots to succeed. And then sometimes we do, sometimes we don't do a great job of that. And then those guys just make plays, and that's what we're counting. You mentioned Odell, you mentioned Miles. Those guys are really talented football players that I think that their team really is. I'm counting on them. Teammates are counting on them, and that they come through. That's the nature of this beast.
Well, here's what happened yesterday. Final score 34-20. 142 pass rushing yards to 206. Rushing yards 158 to 103. Total yards 309 to 300. Third downs 5 of 11 for Washington and 5 of 14 for Cleveland. No turnovers for Cleveland. If you see that stat, 5 versus 0, you're going to win just about every time. No question about that. Bud Shaw is with us. Bud, we've now reached the point, and I didn't expect it this early, where fans now believe that we've turned the corner here, because they're now reporting or writing in or calling in and saying, well, they didn't look good winning, or such and such happened. Like, what, the wins don't count anymore? You get to rest on one on your laurels?
Yeah, look, I think what we're seeing is the product of what the schedule delivered in the first 3 weeks. Yeah. I think many people would have picked them to be 2-1 at this point. And that doesn't mean they don't deserve credit for playing well and coming back, as Stefanski just pointed out. That was a step for them, even against a team that no one is picking to be very good this year. But now we see, now we go on the road. They go on the road to play Dallas, and we get to see, how they'll be in what I think is going to be a shootout there. And, there's still Pittsburgh to come, and, it's going to be interesting. But what I find really interesting, Les, is the way they've won the couple games that they've won. I know there was some talk on Sports Talk Radio today about, whether they're turning Baker Mayfield has been turned into like Ryan Tannehill, where he's going to manage games and hand off to Chubb and Hunt and sort of get out of the way. But whatever the reasons for these 2 approaches have been in winning, I think what they're doing is they recognize that they have a new offense. He's got yet another coordinator, yet another head coach, yet another offense. And I think they're trying to keep things fairly simple early on, not just for Baker Mayfield, but for other guys on offense that didn't have any preseason to speak of. So I think there could be games when they get in and they get challenged where they throw 35 times and he's the reason why they win a game. I wouldn't all of a sudden say, oh, this is going to be a Chubb Hunt team and he's even though he's the number one pick in the draft, he's going to be a game manager. I think it's way too early to say that.
So what you're doing is downgrading my predictions of a loss on game one, on week one, and then 2 wins in a row. You're pretty much putting that down as meaningless.
I'm saying that everybody thought that, Les. Yeah.
I don't know about this guy. 16 of 23 for Baker Mayfield, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns, interceptions, and he was sacked twice, but no interceptions, no fumbles. That's pretty good. Browns get ready to.
What I wanted to say, Les, is that we have to understand that they didn't have that traditional preseason, and the fact that Stefanski's a new head coach and has been a new staff. And we remember what those first couple games were like last year when that staff had been together, when they'd had a preseason, and they couldn't stay on side. They had false starts. They had 18 penalties, and they have been a very disciplined group right now, and I think that says a lot about this coaching staff and the players' attention to detail.